I think after this chapter, we could finally put the big topic to rest. Is the Straw Hats ready to face and take down a Yonko? That is what this entire arc has been making us think about, because so many, myself included, have been discussing, is it possible that Big Mom would be taken down in this arc of One Piece? And as we've constantly seen, the chapters go by and Oda has been writing some great stuff, we have seen some build up to Big Mom, of what she really is and how ridiculous her power is. And even then, some speculated that maybe there was a chance. Some small, slim chance, maybe a 5%, 1% chance, but there was some form of chance. But after this chapter, anyone that believed that it was a possibility most likely does not believe it anymore. Big Mom demonstrated that her power is way beyond anything that our crew, the Straw Hat crew, is ready to handle. She passively tanked Gear 4, so for her to be able to do something like that, I mean, she put Haki on, obviously, to block him, but it wasn't nothing at all to her. She just put Haki on, and then she blocked Luffy's Gear 4 attack, and then it was it. That was the only thing he could do. And so Big Mom, being able to just block something like that with that amount of, effort, she barely put any effort at all. It just demonstrates that the Straw Hats, there's just no fucking way. There's just no fucking way that they're going to be able to take Big Mom down, or let alone someone like Kaido, which Big Mom even went out of her way to say that thing. For Big Mom, of all people, okay, and knowing her background, where she came from, how she operates and all that, for her of all people to say, and Oda to write this as well, for Big Mom to say that thing, implying to Kaido that he is not human, that just lets us know that man, there's something really off with that man. That man is on a whole new level. For Oda to let Big Mom say that. For instance, Oda to put that in, after what we've seen Big Mom do, after eating her entire family, after seeing her just destroy giants like it's nothing at a young age. I mean, she had this, mentality with her, how she operates, her morals and stuff. Just all these little things about her. You could see that she's really crazy powerful, but at the same time, many might look at her of she's not human, and she's like a thing, or a beast, or whatever, and for her of all people to call Kaido that thing, and Oda to write that for her character to say that actually builds up Kaido as a Yonko, letting us know that this man is definitely not human for Big Mom to say that, but also this man must be incredibly powerful for her to even go that far to imply something like that. So yeah, just Oda building up Kaido. I mean, if we're struggling this much with Big Mom, okay, I cannot imagine how Kaido is. This man that can't even die. I can't even imagine how hard it will be to bring a man like that down. So, wow, I just can't see how he's going to be brought down, or how the Straw Hats could face him right now. Just, I don't see that as a possibility. But anyways, though, Big Mom, her fighting style. I'm actually going to go to the page to just, talk about the fighting style. I really like how Big Mom fights. I like how when Judge ran up to attack Big Mom, he was trying to save everybody, he attacked Big Mom, he tried to stab Big Mom, she bit his spear, I think he had a spear, she bit it and just snapped it, and she was just chewing it up in her mouth. You legit see a panel, bottom left panel on page 13, if you're counting the color pages and all that, on page 13, you see Big Mom just crunching down on the weapon that Judge just used to try to stab her, and she's just devouring it like it's nothing. I mean, it suits Big Mom from what we've seen, what she's been able to do, but her just chewing on this man's weapon like it's fucking, like a toothpick or something, damn, that's crazy. But then, to go even further, the way she just grabbed Judge like he was fucking nothing, just grabbed this man, held him in place, and then she reaches her other hand straight up and has Zeus electrify her entire arm. She puts her hand through Zeus's mouth, electrifies her hand, and then she just strikes it down and says, Thunderbolt. It's such a basic name, it's a very simplistic name to call an attack Thunderbolt, but I don't know, just the way Big Mom can have a technique called something so simple, it has so much weight behind it, because it didn't need a fancy name. Just Big Mom putting her hand in Zeus and just saying Thunderbolt, you just see this big ass fucking lightning bolt just hit down on Judge. This man is on the ground, KO'd. Basically, this man got one shot. That's how you can look at this right now. Judge got one shot by Big Mom, which I guess is to be expected from what we've seen in the past, besides this man crying and embarrassing himself. I mean, Sanji was probably going to kick this man's ass to begin with, because I remember, Sanji, he was fighting Judge, then Judge, he pulled a very dirty move, and he was using, his bodyguards and stuff for his people as meat shields, and so Sanji stopped fighting, and that's how he lost. So, in the grand scheme of things, I guess Sanji is probably more powerful than his father. I mean, we don't really know how the fight would have completely went. There could have been something else that could have happened. But still, so Big Mom taking down Judge, it's not necessarily insane, because the feats we've seen from Judge isn't that spectacular. However, though, just her going out of her way, just using one move, Thunderbolt, just put this man to the ground, he's on his ass, he's done. Just like, holy shit, Big Mom, like, the power of her. But then, the next part about her fighting style that was really fucking cool was when Luffy went up, with Gear 4. He was trying to go up and punch Big Mom, like, get a good punch in. She just blocks him. She casually blocks him. She just puts her arm up, blocks him, and then she grabs his fist, and then Luffy powers down, which that's something I want to talk about, okay? So there was something very off about that panel, which I was trying to ask, like, okay, so what the fuck happened there? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Luffy instantly powered down. That is what I'm kind of curious about. From what we have seen from Luffy's Gear 4, yes, he has a time limit. We know this. We know he has a time limit. He can't, use it that long, and then he gets weakened, and then he can't use Haki and all that. We know this. However, from what you see from these panels, Luffy straight up, he's being held back by Sanji, and then he's like, you know what, I want to punch Big Mom, I want to punch her, and he's like, I'll be the one to be Pirate King. He transforms into Gear 4 if you see his stance, and then he punches Big Mom. It's like a couple of seconds, probably about 3-4 seconds, maybe a max or whatever. He just goes in, punches Big Mom, she grabs him, and then he just powers down instantly, and he even says, I'm losing power. I believe something happened there, because from what we know about Luffy's Gear 4, for what we're aware of, he shouldn't have lost his power that quickly after one hit. The only thing that could explain this, besides something else, is that Luffy went all in with full power. He put everything behind his punch, and maybe that weakened it to where he just powered down quickly, or maybe because the constant days of fighting and not eating properly or whatever, maybe that wrecked his body to the point where he can't, maintain Gear 4 for that long. I mean, that could be a thing. But I'm placing bets that most likely it is Big Mom, because Oda would not make a panel emphasizing Big Mom grabbing Gear 4's hand, like, Luffy's Gear 4's hand, and just holding it, and then all of a sudden he powers down instantly. I don't think Oda would do that. So, I feel like she, absorbed or sucked out his stamina or energy. I mean, we do know Big Mom consumes souls and stuff. She can consume things. So, it wouldn't be too far of a stretch if she can actually consume stamina or something. Just make you completely exhausted. That could be a thing that Big Mom is capable of, and what happened to Luffy in that moment. But anyways, though, I do like one thing about this chapter. I like how Katakuri, this man, oh my god. This man's been getting shafted, okay, since he got introduced. This man, he's very powerful, very smart. We've seen that this man's fighting style is not to be underestimated. He's just crazy OP, okay? But the fucked up thing is, this man, he's not acknowledged by Big Mom. She makes fun of him, puts him down and all that, but then this man, everything's always going wrong that he can't really see or control because they're just too far away, and this man's doing everything he can, but in this one moment, when Caesar's trying to escape, he just stands in front of Caesar, and Caesar just lands right up against him. He's like, and then fucking Katakuri's like, almost. Like, bro, yo, Katakuri in that panel looks fucking badass. This man looks legit badass. But then, as the brothers come in, they help out Caesar, he gets away, but then, really, she comes in and also stops Caesar. So, just all these little things that's going on. Katakuri, after stopping and realizing that, Caesar would still be stopped, the entire tower goes down, and I feel so bad for this man, because this man's always getting shafted, wrecked. This man, he tries everything. You can see he's doing a good job. He's legit doing a very good job, but no matter what he does, this man is getting wrecked by things he can't really control. Oh my god, this man is so OP, but he just can't do nothing to stop it because of how unpredictable this arc is and how the Straw Hats are in general. Just oh my god. So, let's talk about the explosion. So, the entirety of the tower, the big cake, has collapsed. That right there is something that many of us speculated would happen. I mean, let's just face the facts here. That's what many of us thought was going to happen. I talked about it a few chapters ago, and I was talking a lot about it in the comments with the Chibis. I mean, we were talking about how most likely the box was going to completely obliterate the tower was going to collapse, and that was going to be the ticket for the Straw Hats and all of them to be able to get out of there, because, you know, with the rubble, the falling, the smoke and all that, Katakuri won't be able to see jack shit, and also, you know, the Straw Hats will just be able to get away. They can get away as fast as they can, because they'll have, like, the smoke of the collapse just to get out. So, I mean, this happening, the big explosion was to be expected. That was very predictable. But at the same time, though, what caused the explosion, now that was something that was truly shocking. So let me get into that part of the chapter. Let me get to the page. So, the actual page, or where this happened in this chapter, that was very surprising, was that CP0 was in this. CP0 popped up in this chapter, and we know that they've been in the background for a while. Like, we've seen them in the last arc, Dressrosa and all that, but in this, we see, once again, CP0 popping up. And we know how, you know, CP, you know, how they operate. You know, they go undercover, they can operate for years, decades, maybe, to just do a certain operation. And so, finally, we get to see another reveal of CP0, Stussy. Hopefully that's how you pronounce her name. This girl, which we've seen already a couple of times, and I've even talked about her. I laughed at some of the exchanges with the other characters she has done. I mean, I was just very shocked and surprised that she was a CP0 agent. She was Stussy, and she straight up was working for the world government. I was like, bro, like, what? Like, the way it came out of, like, nowhere, like, straight up, this dude, he's trying to get the box, obviously. You've been seeing that. But then, all of a sudden, you have it to where she just kicks this man off the ledge, he lands, and then she just shoots him. She uses a flying Shigun. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. But she uses that ability, which we have seen before in previous arcs a long time ago, like hundreds of chapters ago, and I'm like, what? Like, yo, like, okay, we've seen that ability, the flying Shigun, before, but just seeing how she used that and the way it looks so much more powerful, and you just see the smoke coming out of her finger, just puts that emphasis on how powerful she is, and just how she's a secret agent. She's the queen of the pleasure quarter, apparently. Like, what the fuck? So, oh my god. Like, oh my god. Like, this was a very good reveal. The way Oda handled this, like, even if the box blowing up and collapsing the tower was predictable, I don't think any of us would have guessed that this would have happened, like with Stussy. I just don't think any of us would have guessed this outcome. We all probably expected the box to go flying, it was going to hit the ground, and that was going to be it. Like, just because of, you know, Big Mom yelling and screaming. That's what we assumed. But that does not appear to be the case. It was actually an agent for CP0 that was actually the cause of why the box went off. And so this would mean that Big Mom wouldn't really be aware, actually, of what happened. Even if she knew the box exploded, she would assume something else happened with some of these others that she wouldn't really know it was the Fisherman Island's fault at all. So, yeah, I guess they kind of got lucky when you think about it. But speaking of the size of the explosion, let me get to the final page. The size of the explosion is fucking massive. Like, oh my god. Like, okay, let's look at the comparison here. You can see, okay, the entire town. The town is pretty massive, too. We've seen the perspective a long time ago when we first entered this area, and we saw it, you know, people walking along the city streets and stuff. We know this town is massive. The buildings are very tall, and we know that, you know, the big cake, the tower where they're having the wedding ceremony and what's going on right now is very big. I mean, you even see it on the last page, left panel, and you see the very top, that's the structure in the big place where the wedding was going, and that's, if you really look at the way the size of it looks, okay, that top part is very fucking massive, too, what's going on, okay? All that crazy shit has been happening on that top part. And you see this big-ass tower just collapsing, which is way bigger. So when you look at the size comparison to the buildings, to that, I mean, it collapsing, the explosion that was in that box, it's like a mini nuke. It's like a freaking little, I don't even know what to describe. Like, okay, I guess it's not a nuclear explosion size, but that shit is powerful as fuck. Like, oh my god, the tower just going down like that. Damn, that man was wanting to kill anything that probably stood in his way. Like, I mean, oh my god, for them to put that many explosions in the box, oh my god. I just didn't think it'd be that powerful of all things. So, yeah. Anyways, though, talking about let's talk about also the things like with Caesar. So Caesar has been almost escaped, and I like the little tidbits with, you know, the others inside of Capone, and how they're like, you know, you can do it, you can go, here we go. And I like how Nami's like, you're still trash though. Like, that shit's great, dude. I know, he's like, you're trash though. Like, you're still trash, even though this man's doing everything he can to get out. Like, that's... Oh my god, I like the comedy there. That gave me a good laugh. So, I feel like overall this chapter was really good. Oda was on point, and just like, I can't wait to see what happens next. Like, oh my god. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.